Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into Tom Curran's Patriots Talk Podcast. It's Tuesday. It means we've got quick slants. That means I'm going to haul in a guest, and it's James White, Sweet Feet, joining us. He did the game on Sunday for the radio, so he was watching Patriots Bengals. We'll talk to James. We'll jump out on the other side. No Phil today, but I'm going to clean it up on the other side, and we'll look forward to the Seattle Seahawks and really try and put into perspective what the Patriots accomplished on Sunday. Here's James. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is fan favorite, the great James White. Sweet Feet joins us. He was actually doing the game for Sports USA?
Yeah, Sports USA.
What'd you think? Initial impressions of the Jerod Mayo-led New England Patriots?
I thought it was great. A great start. For me, going into the game, in order for them to win, I thought the defense had to play tough, try and confuse Joe Burrow, eliminate their explosive passing game. And then offensively, I thought they had to control the clock, run the football in the game with over 100 yards rushing and 0 turnovers. And they did that. So they stuck to the formula. That's going to be their identity, at least early on, until the passing game, they'll kind of find its footing.
What impressed you most about the offense? To me, it seemed as if there was like a really cogent plan from Alex Van Pelt. There was, you guys used to be able to morph from one identity to the next in a game plan situation. Yeah. These guys don't have that luxury. They have to be somebody, and it seemed like there was an organization to what they were trying to do.
I mean, I was most impressed with the offensive line. I thought they played tough. They played tough in the running game. It wasn't perfect the entire time, but they stuck with it. Hats on hats. Sticking with their blocks. Ramondre ran hard, and pass protection too. Jacoby, for the most part, didn't really get harassed. They were on their blocks, gave him enough time to get through his reads, and if there was nothing there, he made a good decision, decided to use his legs and scramble. So I think their identity early on is going to be, running the football, play action, until they get that end-game chemistry with the receivers. And I'm sure at some point they can evolve to how we were in the past, to where each week it can kind of be a week-to-week kind of style of play on how they attack the defenses.
How much does getting this early confirmation of the fact that they're heading in the right direction help the mood of the team?
It helps a ton. I mean, it's easier to make corrections when you win versus when you lose. So I said it wasn't perfect out there. I thought defensively, there's a lot more good. Obviously, they played a tough challenge in Joe Burrow. They confused him, threw a lot of stuff at him. But offense is always great to establish a line of scrimmage. If you can run the ball like that, every single week, you're going to be a tough battle for any team. Nobody wants to see that amount of runs. Nobody wants to defend that amount of runs the entire football game. And another impressive part for me was at the end when they were to close the game out, with their ball in their hands on offense. That's what you want to do. That's no better feeling in the world as a running back, as an offensive line, for the defense to know you're running the ball. You still go out there and execute it in the game. I thought that was great for week one.
You played with a lot of these guys, and you had a lot of success with some of the guys who are still here. David Andrews, a number of other players too. When you look at the way they're responding to Jerod Mayo, it's not necessarily a rebuke of Bill, but it does seem to be an embrace of the way of doing things and of the team appreciating the approach. Yeah,
they're appreciating, they're appreciative of his coaching style. I mean, a lot of those guys, Mayo, coached on that staff for several years now, so they're very familiar with him. They know what type of person he is, what type of coach he is, and they want to win for a guy like that. Mayo's a great human being. He's a great leader. He knows how to lead, man. He knows how to get the best out of you. And I'm sure they're doing some of the similar things that we did with Bill Belichick. And I'm sure Mayo has his own spin on things, changing things in the locker room as far as, what they see when they're walking through the building. It's a different era, but to me, like I said, I'm not in the building currently. I feel like a lot of, as far as the preparation, it's kind of the same.
What does a Patriots alumni feel? Because this is different. This is a different organization, I think, than a lot of pro franchises. And we saw it during the Tom Brady gala in the summer, his Hall of Fame induction. This is a program in a way that even some college programs may not be, where the alumni have a vested interest. How do you and do you have any text chains out there with other guys and saying, wow, it's working?
No, not currently. I mean, I do have like a group chat with a lot of the former backs. We have one on like one through text and one through Instagram with, Rex, myself, Brandon Bolden, like Damon Harris, a lot of the guys. I mean, we're always tuned in watching. You wish nothing but the best for, all the guys that you play with and a lot of the coaches that coach you as well. I know there's a lot of new faces on the offensive side as far as the coaching staff, but defensively there's some familiar faces there. So definitely rooting for them. And like I said, I'm definitely rooting for Jerod, man. Nobody, gave them a shot, early on in the season. Nobody knew what to expect to go out and win week one. It's a heck of a start. Now you just have to keep building and moving forward.
What's the best way to do that? Mayo said, we don't have a victory Monday. That's over. No victory Monday. Next week is that to me feels like the best approach because they could have sat there, James, and said, nobody believed in us. Everybody said we were horrible. I think it's the best approach to not do that.
No, you can't do that. It's only one football game. You got 16 more games left. You don't want to end the year 1-16. So you move forward, turn the page, make the corrections because there's plenty of corrections to be made because like I said, they did win this week by having to throw for a ton of yards, but at some point, I'm sure they will have to. Hopefully the running game will be just as efficient, but at some point they're going to have to evolve that. I said whether that's practice or in the game, maybe take some more shots down the field or getting the ball to their playmakers like Pop Douglas or Pope, RPOs, quick game, just to get those guys, some touches because those guys can be special as well in space.
Yeah, I was surprised about that. The lack of touches for Pop Douglas, Jalen Polk, Jermichael Hasty, who's a change-up back. They really haven't had one since you left. They really haven't had a water bug slot or a change-up back since both you and Julian left. And I look at that as the next maybe evolution of the offense. Get that spot back involved. Agree or disagree?
No, I agree. I mean, I think Pop Douglas is definitely, that guy in the slot, being out there for training camp for 2 days. Seeing the way he practiced, I felt like when I was out there, he was catching at least every other ball in team drills or 7-on-7. So he's definitely a featured type of player, just like how Julian was, back when we were teammates. And I like what I saw from Antonio Gibson. I know they didn't feature him, too much in the passing game, but he ran hard, he ran physical. But he's a guy who can be a threat, out of the backfield as well. Him, Ramondre, and Jermichael Hastings, however they decide to do it, I think that would be a great evolution to their passing game, especially early on, when maybe they're not able to make those shots down the field. Mm-hmm. A team like the Bengals, they matched them up in man-to-man coverage quite a few times on third down to isolate a back on a linebacker or something to create an explosive play that could be huge.
Yeah, it was close to the bone. You've said a few times there's corrections to be made. They had the Hunter Henry pass breakup on the would-be pick. They had the strip at the goal line. They had forced fumble by Joe Cardona. I mean, that's preventing points that you don't expect to prevent, needing an excellent play with the Henry play and with the Duggar play, and then getting points with the three. So it was an old school Patriots win in that way. Don't beat yourself. Be smart. Be resourceful.
Yeah, it was gritty. And even, the play to Gesicki where he couldn't hold on to the ball in the end zone, and then which led to the Kyle Duggar punch out. So, I mean, there's quite a few plays that, could have changed the game completely. But fortunate enough for the Patriots, they were able to create, 2 turnovers, one on defense, one on special teams. Shout out to Joe Cardona. You don't see too many long snappers sticking their hat in there like that, force a fumble. So shout out to my guy, huge play there. And it's great to see, the special teams really, leveling up once again, because that was always a huge thing for us. Schooler, he had a heck of a day. He's a beast. Looks like he's gonna be that next, great Patriot special teamer. He's been doing it since his rookie season. He puts in the work and he shows up on Sundays.
Speaking of recognizing things, you're wearing a Huskies shirt there.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what you're doing coaching-wise right now and who the Huskies are.
Shout out to my Northern Illinois Huskies and Thomas Hammock. We went out and went on the road. South Bend defeated the number 5 ranked team. The Fighting Irish out there. They had a good football team where we were the better football team on that Saturday. Like I said, I've been helping out in kind of a player development / coaching role. Thomas Hammock coached me at Wisconsin for 3 years as the running back coach. And, Northern Illinois is not far from where I live. So decided to come help out, be a mentor to some of these players, whatever they need, whether it's watching film, talking life, talking family, whatever, talking football, whatever it may be, whatever they want to talk about. I want to be a voice for them and try and help them, help prepare for the next level as well if they want, that aspect too.
Hey, I'm telling you, none of you. Wait, is Northern Illinois? That is Rodney Harrison's school, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
I'll double check that.
Look that up.
I'm going to double check that. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. That's a bad job by me. I believe it is.
I'd look that up.
All right, I'm on it. James White, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate all your success, and we're rooting for you. Thanks again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, so thanks to James White. Thanks to you guys for sticking around. One thing I wanted to kind of delve into a little bit was what this Patriots team didn't do, and I mentioned it to James, was the lack of victory laps and the ability to move forward. And there's two quotes that I have that I want to include here. First is Jelani Tavai yesterday speaking about the team relishing the opportunity to have a victory Monday, and also Jerod Mayo talking about the concept of Victory Monday for this Patriots team after going 1-0.
Today was our last day to, have that feeling, I guess, about the win. And, tomorrow's a new week. Tomorrow starts the new week, and really tonight does, because we got to move past this past weekend and get ready for Seattle. Seattle's got a really good offense, and they're very explosive. So we got to dial in and dive into the playbook and see what their key players are doing, see how we can disrupt them and be that aggressive defense that we can be still.
Victory Monday. It's one game, Ben. It's one game. No Victory Monday. The guys are in. Hopefully they're excited to be in, and they're working out, and we'll go through the film, and we'll button this game up, and once again, we'll start to introduce Seattle, and I think that's the mentality. No Victory Mondays.
Phil and I talked about that after the game. Look, there was ample opportunity for this Patriots team, who was the biggest underdog going into week one, who had been lampooned, harpooned, and I don't have another pooned word here, but inappropriate. But when we look at this team, they're all business right now. And I think that when we talk about, okay, Bill's out, Jerod's in, what's this team's character, makeup, personality going to be like? It's collective personality. And given that I started covering the team in the first year of Pete Carroll, right after Bill Parcells, the team's personality was relishing the opportunity to relax after Bill Parcells left. And Pete Carroll afforded that team the opportunity to relax. Training camp was less difficult. The criticism didn't flow. Pete Carroll was a kinder, gentler coach who frequently, it was said, treated the players like adults, not the big, mean ogre that Bill Parcells was. And that team progressively went from the Super Bowl to 10-6, 9-7, 8-8. Pete's out the door. Bill Belichick comes in. Interestingly, while Jerod Mayo has spent more time allowing players to quote-unquote be themselves, to show their personalities, whether it be through podcasts, on social media, however they want to do it, there has been no letting up on the gas pedal, in my estimation, in terms of the difficulty and what he asks of the players. Mayo's training camp this year was more difficult than Bill Belichick's has been maybe for the last 4 or 5 years. Belichick was criticized. Like, Mayo will never have a training camp like Bill used to have because there's no such thing as two-a-days. Bill invented the hill that Mayo credits for the players talking about during the fourth quarter the other day, saying, take him to the hill. Well, Bill invented that. Bill had the hill and then got it turfed. But Mayo used it in a way that I didn't anticipate. It was an extremely difficult camp. The practices were long. They were in pads every day. They were tackling to the ground. And I think that mindset is absolutely necessary, as is the mindset of, okay, yep, great, we won. You didn't think we would, but we're going to spend a hell of a lot less energy on that than we are on trying to make sure that we don't fall on our faces next week, because that is the truth of this team right now. The line between a win and a loss every single week is going to be wafer thin. Yet they beat Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, and they don't often beat elite quarterbacks. And they have an opportunity now to win 2 games in a row, something that they haven't done since the middle of the 2022 season. And when they did that, they beat Zach Wilson, then Sam Ehlinger and the Colts, and then Zach Wilson again. And the second time they beat Zach Wilson in 3 weeks, that was on that Marcus Jones buzzer beater punt return touchdown. So this team understands that prosperity can turn into not prosperity really quickly. And they probably understand that were it not for what James White alluded to with the Mike Gesicki drop when Duggar punched it out. Also the punch out on the near touchdown, the Hunter Henry pass breakup of what could have been an interception, the Cardona recovery, the turnover on downs. I mean, there's literally 20 points that you could find to the plus side thanks to the Patriots making smart plays when the Bengals didn't. And how many occasions can we find in the last few years of the opposite taking place? They were not a situationally smart team. They were not a team that was resourceful. And they beat themselves quite frequently. But again, some of these plays are coin flips. They're not good. They weren't lucky either. But you have to pick up, as Al Pacino said, all of those little inches are everywhere. That's not really a great Al Pacino, but you get the gist. So this week it's Seattle. And when we do quick slants later today, I'm going to delve into a little bit with Caleb Burton, Christian Gonzalez and his matchup with DK Metcalf. And I want to highlight that too because we did spend some time in the preseason talking about was Christian Gonzalez going to perform at the same level? Because to me, you could talk about Christian Barmore's exquisite power and Keon White's ridiculous athleticism, power, and speed. But Christian Gonzalez probably will be their biggest difference maker because of the effect he can have on a Jamar Chase, which he did, or a Tyreek Hill, which he did, or an A.J. Brown, which he has done, or a C.D. Lamb. He has faced those wide receivers in his career, and none of them have undressed him. I'm not saying this guy is the next Darrelle Revis, but you really have to look at his body of work, tiny body that it may be, and say, my God, if this was Sauce Gardner and it had been done over the course of one season, break out the sheet cake. But the Patriots, well, they're in ne'er-do-well right now. People don't spend a lot of time scrutinizing the personnel of the New England Patriots and saying, that guy's overlooked. The way to get that to change, get a win this week against the Seattle Seahawks and DK Metcalf. I'm going to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed the James White. We will be back again at it, of course, later this week. Phil will be back, and we'll have another great guest. So until then, talk to you soon.